What is going on, guys? Afflicted Gamer here, back with another Division video. So I'm on the 1.8 PTS here on console, and I wanted to talk about Tactician's Authority. So some of you may be going, I already saw you do a video on this. Well, I'm redoing it, and I'm going to explain why. Some people are thinking that Tacticians really is not improved. It's not better, and yeah, I'm going to give a different breakdown with some gameplay also, where I'm going to point a few things out specifically to show you why it is a very good and powerful gear set. And for those of you that haven't seen it, I'll explain why I have mine set up the way that I do. Regardless, if you've seen the video, the earlier one that is not up anymore, or this one, whatever the case is, if you enjoy it, drop a like on it. It's much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing for more Division content. So, Classified Tactician's Authority. So, the new 5 and 6 set bonuses. 5 gives you an additional 5% skill haste and an additional 5% skill power. The 6 set bonus, where people are getting confused and all that, which makes perfect sense, trust me, as to why. A lot of math. Using a skill while at max bonus will reset the skill power buff, but will raise the cap to 60%. So when you're using Tactician, you get your skill power, you'll see the little bar fill up to 30%, right? Now, here on the 1.8 PTS, it doesn't affect turrets, but when 1.8 launches, the turrets will give you that stack back. I want to clear that up right now, because you won't see whenever I deploy a turret, you won't see the stack go back up. You'll only see it from my gunfights, which is why I'm actually going through the mission a lot slower than I normally would. Alright, so that will change in the future. So with that out of the way, let's keep going. Using a different skill at the 60% has a 50% chance to set the buff power back to 30% and keep the cap at 60. This chance is increased by 10% for every 2,000 electronics, so if you have 10,000 electronics, you pretty much have a 100% chance of this always happening. So in other words, if I've got my cap, say I'm using my turret, I've got my buff up to 30%, then I go and I hit my heal, and you'll see the little Tactician symbol down at the bottom. If you see that proc, then you know that that is your chance right there to not only with your skill deployed sitting still at the max buff, but it will still again increase back up to 60%. And you will see the little green bar, instead of going only up to 30, you will see it go all the way up to 60%. This is actually very, very strong. As some people are underestimating it, I'm not sure why, but guys, trust me, this is a fantastic gear set. You can basically have an endless turret, one-shot sticky bomb, no more delay also with that, and you're going to get to see all that in the gameplay to follow. So, the way I've got my gear set up real quick, just in case for the people that did see this one from yesterday, everything is rolled to electronics. The chest plate has skill haste, health, and ammo capacity. All of my mods are either firearms or electronics with health or skill power on it. People can make the argument for skill haste that it's better, that's fine. This is only my personal preference because I like to be in the gunfights as well. I don't want to just solely rely on my skills. And if I run Tactician by myself, I want to know that I can hold my own ground. Now the mask, again, electronics, enemy armor damage, and damage to elites, and this is not a fully optimized build. I could still do that as well. The knee pads are electronics, skill power, damage to elites, burn resist, bleed resist, any of the prototype performance mods. Right now there's still sticky bomb, there's explosion radius, and damage. I would actually go for more damage if I had the mods, but I actually don't on here on the PTS. And when I'm using a turret, I use turret damage, turret health, and turret duration, and a first aid self-heal mod. The backpack, which you guys kind of saw already, electronics, skill power, and ammo capacity, gloves, electronics, crit chance, crit damage, and assault rifle damage, and the holster, health as the major attribute. Yeah, I know people, again, skill haste, this is just my own personal preference. My primary weapon is a lightweight M4 with competent, determined, and ferocious. All of the attachments are crit chance, crit damage, and headshot damage, the extended mag, mag size, crit damage, rate of fire. And as for my secondary custom M44, we've got determined, skilled, and harmful. Harmful I would change out if I could, but this has 171% headshot damage, so I'm just going to keep it as is. Attachments are the same. So there is the breakdown of the set. Let's get into the gameplay so I can explain this in action. Okay, so here we are with the gameplay. I had to mute the background audio because I was having a conversation with somebody about this gear set while I was recording this, so that's why you guys don't hear any of the background sound. We're having a discussion about the talents, etc. So, Scott, thanks again for the help. Anyways, so what you see me doing here, instead of just quickly going through the mission, I'm trying to get the percentages to happen into proc. And right there, I did have a stack of 30. And now you can see the little Tactician's authority symbol underneath my character. And the next time I start to shoot somebody, like right now, I have the chance to fill it up to 60%. If the turrets were working as intended, which they will be when 1.8 drops, the turret actually would have already done that for me and I wouldn't actually have to go out in the open and shoot. So I'm at 38% right now, and it's not going to go away. It's going to stay there until I fill it all the way up to 60. And then after I use a skill at 60%, then it will go back down. So really, if you think about it, whenever you deploy a skill at your max, your normal max, which is 30%, however high your skill power is, that is how much damage your skill does. We'll just use turrets for an example because that's what I'm using. When you deploy it at 60%, it is doing double the amount of damage. You know, you're not ever losing anything when you see that it resets and it goes from 60 back down to 30. When you do have one of your skills out, you're not losing anything. All you're doing is adding more skill power to the skills that you are already using. And if anybody is curious, just in case, I actually do let myself get hurt in here while I have a stack. And I end up letting my recovery link proc, and what happens is it does consume your stack. Just in case anybody was curious about that, I thought that I would do that as well just to clear it up. So anyways, you know what, once the turrets end up working, and actually there it is right there, so you don't see that I have a little Tactician symbol underneath me. I have to start building it up again. But once the turrets start working in 1.8 with this gear set, you will be able to get up to 60% all the time with ease. If you have upwards between 8 to 10,000 skill power, it will happen quite often, meaning you'll have essentially double the skill power most of the time. That's a huge benefit to not only yourself, but your team. And if you do like to run solo and you do like to use Tactician, well, then your skills basically can do the job for you. A lot of people are thinking that, well, what if I just use the 5-set bonus and I pair it up with Barrett's Bulletproof Vest, or Vigorous, Relentless, anything of that sort. None of those are bad options, but I honestly don't see them being better than the 6-set bonus, because with the 6-set bonus, getting double your skill power, like I said, if you've got electronics that are up in anywhere from 8 to 10k, that's a lot of damage done solely from skills, not even your weapons. And if you do have weapons and talents that complement skill builds, like Determined or Competent, then you can keep yourself in the fight, which is how I have myself set up, and you know why I've got health in certain places and why I actually have the talents unlocked on my weapons. So keep that in mind also. When we do get to the next part of the mission, I switch to sticky bombs, so you guys can see that as well. And the other thing I do want to mention is if you do have one of your talents on your character, tech support, where whenever you get a kill, it extends the duration of an active skill by 10%. You can basically almost have an endless turret if that's what you're using. You know, when you send out Seeker Mines, the the bleed effect, whatever it is you want to use, you can extend the duration of the effects of that for quite a long time whenever you have a med station deployed. Actually, in the first version of this video, I had a med station down and it did not go away until I blew it up. And right here you see that I've got the little green bar over top of my overdose. It just went away because I deployed a skill. Right there again is because I was at my max bonus. So now, at certain checkpoints like this, if you go into an elevator, anywhere where you'll see a black screen for a moment and then you reappear, I found that going through those checkpoints, they will consume your bonus. So you will have to build your stack back up, but truthfully, it really doesn't take that long. So just in case anybody's running missions and they're going, okay, I got my 60% stack, got through this checkpoint, where did it go? Yeah, it does take it away. So keep that in mind. Now here, I'm going to go ahead and swap out my mods. If I had more sticky bomb damage prototype performance mods, I would have used those. But I've got one, and I also have sticky bomb damage blast radius. So you know what? Those actually do the job just fine. So when I get in here and I have to fight the big guys, like I said, I would honestly stack damage probably more than anything and maybe one blast radius, because you can strip their armor and almost all of their health down. And especially if you do have your stack up to 60, you could pretty much just one-shot these guys. And I can only imagine what this is going to be like in PvP. If they don't nerf a lot of the other classified gear sets that are extremely powerful and useful, you know, Nomad, Alpha Bridge, etc., then we'll have a lot of build diversity. If they do, and they leave Tactician the way it is, we're going to see the one-shot sticky bomb meta all over again. So, but anyways, if you do keep your eye on the screen and you see that I've got the 30% stack and it goes away, and then you see the little Tactician symbol, like right there, that's when you know you get to go ahead and build it up to 60%, giving you double. And what you should do actually when you are using this gear set and you are trying it out, go ahead and check your skill power before and after, because you will see a significant difference. You know, like right here, I can see that I'm almost at 60%. That's why I just I finished him off slowly. A couple shots on this guy, little green bar around my overdose. I know I've got my stack. Sent out a sticky bomb, and I almost took out that whole area of NPCs. So, anyways, this gear set is very powerful. Don't underestimate it. Give it a try and go after it when it becomes available. Don't forget, turrets will work with this when the patch does launch, and that is that. So, anyways guys, I hope that you did enjoy this video and found it informative. And if you did see the first one and now you see this one, let me know what you think between the two, which one was better. Hopefully this one cleared things up for people a little bit more. Other than that, if you enjoyed it, drop a like on it. It's much appreciated. And if you're new to the channel, consider sticking around for more Division content, because there is much more on the way. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you very soon in the next video.